There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 Series, round 9, coming to you from Road Atlanta. I'm John Van Ree. With me, I have Mark Duggan. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, very good, John. Good to be here. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad for a Tuesday night. Interesting field we've got up tonight. A little bit small, but full of quality. So looking forward to seeing how some of these boys go. Of course, this Road Atlanta circuit is, I reckon, one of the great ones for the V8 cars on the iRacing platform. Starting in turn 1, we head up through the sweeping turn 1 up the hill, where we rise over the crest at turn 3, and then we come down through the awesome S's through turns 4, and then we loop back up the hill at 5, sweeping up the hill, getting the car right over the apex of the crest. And then we go through into the sweeping turn up into turn 7. And then it's one of my favourite straightaways down through the American style 8 and 9, which is really a straight line, and into a corner I love, coming downhill into 10A, 10B, back up the hill under the bridge at 11, and then you sweep down onto the start-finish straight very quickly in turn 12, back to complete a circuit. It's a very fast track. These boys, we need to stay in that draft, and they need to make sure they make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely, John. It is a very slick track. It's a lot of fun to drive. One of them tracks that I've never seemed to be able to get a result at, but I always enjoy driving around here, and it's concentration. Even you got the big long straight up the back. It bites in every other corner, so you got to keep aware of where you are and what you're doing.
You'd need to be on top of the game. Let's have a quick look at the championship standings as these boys are just getting started, warming up into their qualifying series. Might start with the Super 2 boys. Some great little battles here. We've got the drop round counted in this. So after 8 rounds, Christian Smart now has the lead from Craig Schultz. That battle very tightly contested with only 20-odd points in it. About 40 points back's Dave Coleman. Dave not on the grid tonight, so that's going to cost him, and an opportunity for Ash Borella to move up onto the podium. And Brad Dobell as well. So good little battle there. Anthony Visma is sitting on 11.27 with Sean Rigby tucked up right behind him. Chris Blanchard is in that battle pack as well. And then we drop right back then to Sheedy and Drage, who's missing tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how these Super 2 boys go on this very technical circuit. And
yeah, I couldn't help but notice, John, that Anthony Visma set some pretty slick times out there in practice, so he could be one to watch out for in that Super 2 battle.
And we jump onto the Pro Series boys, and James Scott's our championship leader on 12.60 after one drop round. Rumour has it he will be missing a week for a holiday, so that battle well and truly wide and open. Jordan Ross sitting in second on 12.23. Tom Freer 11.61. He's only just 11 points ahead of Tom Freer. Blake Warboy's not too much further back behind Freeman. Wasn't Freer, sorry. And then we've got Damien Johnstone, Kirby, Mulford, Jamie Dyke creeping up onto the board there, and Adam Briggs back in 10th. So it's definitely starting to hotten up as we get towards the business end of the series. And just having a look at some of these times now after the first 5 minutes. You can see James Scott with a 17.95 has really got off to a cracking start as he's rolling here on his outlap. And of course, big shout out to everybody in the chat watching. And don't forget, jump in, let us know who you're supporting. We'll try and make sure we keep a bit of an eye on them tonight. And yeah, I think we're in for a good race, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Road Atlanta always throws up some pretty good battles. Like you said, you've got to stay in that draft on the back straight. Plenty of experience in a lot of these drivers here tonight. So, yeah, it should be quite an interesting battle up front. And the Super 2 boys, they've been racing hard all year as well, all season, sorry. And, yeah, none of them are going to lay down either. So it's going to be pretty tight right throughout the field, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like Craig Schultz already sitting in 5th after that first round of qualifying laps. There's a lot of these boys are on their second round now. We can see Schultz in behind James Scott at the moment. So interesting to see what James can do when he starts to fire up on his next lap as he comes through 10A, 10B. Might just jump on the nose for a lap. Have a listen as he comes over the hill. As I said, the undulations in this place make it a really technical circuit. And one that's commonly used as part of the American SCAA championships. A lot of traffic coming out. Doesn't want to get caught out on top of the hill here. Nice, gets past Borella. A little bit deep, a little bit loose. I think he might have lost his rhythm with that traffic coming out of the pits. James, as ever, always smooth. Continuing on. Up through turn 7 now, into the long back straightaway. Getting the power down, speed getting up. A long way out in front of him. And then we come down the hill here where you got to pull the car up and then get through the 10A, 10B chicane. Nicely done by James. Don't think he's going to set a good time here, and he's already bailing in. As might just jump on board with Jordan Ross, see what he can do. And sitting second on the leaderboard. Second in the championship. Past the halfway point of this battle at the moment for qualifying. There's still some big names to get on the board as well, which we're waiting to see. As well, got a few boys we'll be talking about tonight, I think. But let's see what Jordan can do. Flies across the stripe. Goes with a 1:18.2. Doesn't improve his time on James Scott. But manages to hold that little gap from Hobson. Then back to Warboys. Schultz still sitting in 5th. Great for Craig. 9.5 Sim Sports boys. Definitely going all the way in the battle here.
Yeah, good lap from Jordan. He actually improved a couple of tenths. He didn't get into P1, held his position in P2, but that was a rock solid lap from Jordan, and he's been pretty solid all season. So he's been in the hunt pretty much every race this season.
He's doing very well. Let's have a look at this young fella. New to the series. Driving for the Ritchie Dock Shop. And he been quite well known around NASCAR circles. Young Shane Van Gisbergen hasn't set a time yet, so we'll see what he can do here.
Yeah, kept an eye on Shane. He's been out for a couple of siders and bailed straight away, so hopefully we can get him to lay down a time this time round.
Well, he went purple in the first sector, and the rest have been yellows, so you can see how he goes here. And he's bailed out of that one, so still no time for Van Gisbergen, which is rather interesting.
Probably only got one more run at this. His teammate Ryan Wood also hasn't set a time yet.
Of course, Ryan Wood, Super 2 driver, just signed up for Walkinshaw for the main game next season. So let's see what he can do here at East Coast, though. 'Cause he's got all yellow sectors as well. Gone purple in the last. And he pumps up into P2, squeezing in between Scott and Ross. That's a great drive from there.
Yeah, solid lap there from Ryan. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that one.
Yep, doing really well. And we might just go back. Blake Warboy sitting in 5th. He's on an outlap at the moment. And Dave Baldock saying Warboy's been inspired by Josh Drage this week. Racing at Sandown with no pants on, apparently. I'll leave that one for Baldock to explain. And big shout out to Pete Kelleher. Good to see you love the new livery, mate. I think you're going to have fun this season with that one. Let's see what Blake can do here, coming down through the S's. Heading up the hill. This is where you got to get the power down, get over that rise. Car wants to step out on you as you go through it. Then you got to sweep it up through into here. He's got a bit of a clear runaway. A big shout out to Ben Anthony as well in the chat. So a few boys watching already tonight. As we're down at 2.5 minutes left in this session. What can Blake Warboys do here? Can he get himself cemented up into that top 4, top 5? Comes over into the last turn down the hill. He's bailed on that one, so not much happening there. Damien Johnstone moves up into 5th. So that moves Warboys down another spot. Might jump back on Van Gisbergen again. See what he can do. Coming up through turn 7, running down the back straight. Gunter's in the chat. Hello, Gunter. And running down, heading into turn 9, about to come down into 10A, 10B. Hitting the apex. And just lost him. He's back. Don't know what happened there. But Ginsbergen moves into P2. Jumps Wood. James Scott still in P1. Nicely pulls over, get out of the way. Here comes Wood. Doesn't look like Wood's jumped up any positions either. So definitely a bit of a battle at the moment. Let's see what Jordan Ross can do. The 10A, 10B. This is the man. Been taking it to James Scott all season. Oh, he's off there. That'll be definitely. Will not get a time for that one. That'll be the last chance with only half a minute to go. That is Ross in trouble. Relegated back to 4th. And we might just have a quick look, see who else is on an outlap. Warboys, let's see if he's going to make it. 15 seconds to go. He's going to get one more crack at this. Only just. Let's just see if Visma makes the line as well. No, Visma's pulled in, so jump back on Warboys. Warboys where the battle is at the moment. Comes up over the hill. Most of the guys are coming in. A little bit loose there. That'll be costly. That'll take time out of it. Coming down now into turn 7. Accelerating the car up, 250 Ks, 260, nearly 270 Ks. Pull it up. It's the apex beautifully. And he's going to bail out of that one. We're seeing a few of these boys heading back in. So it looks like qualifying has been decided. So we will bring up the grid and let's have a look at how this all lays out. Oh, an incident involving Blanchard, Wood and Van Gisbergen has been noted as well. So there may still be penalties coming before the race gets started. Wait for that message to disappear and I'll read out what our grid is this evening. So looking forward to getting over this one. So on pole we have James Scott alongside Shane Van Gisbergen. On row 2 we have Ryan Wood and Jordan Ross. Row 3 Brenton Hobson and Thomas Freeman. Row 7 sees Damien Johnstone from Synergy Sim Racing alongside Blake Warboys from WK&P. And then we have our Super 2 boys lining up. We've got Craig Schultz, Christian Smart sitting in there. And next to Smart, we have Brad Dobell and Anthony Visma. After Visma, we have Ash Borella and Sean Rigby. Then we have Wade Sheedy, Chris Blanchard in 16th, Blair Van Ree in 17th. And then we have, after that, Andrew Hoffman in 18th. Seb is our race control alongside with Reg James. Gunter is our safety car driver tonight. Heaven help us. And Tim Mulford didn't set a time, so Tim is sitting at the back of the grid. That is a tough one there, Mark.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some pretty tight racing in the first half. 8 people, and then the Super 2 boys are going to take up the battle from there. So there's some big names there, and I'm sure there'll be some no-holds-bar racing here because Road Atlanta always throws up a great spectacle in the V8s.
Definitely, it's one of those tracks that really turns it on for everybody. Really looking forward to seeing how these guys go at this one. We have a real dilemma with their tyre selection as well. So tonight, as we were supposed to do sprints, but with the iRacing update, they've had to change the format. So the boys haven't had the chance to really get themselves set up. But they get 1 fast repair, unlimited fuel, 2 compulsory pit stops and 2 sets of tyres. So it's going to be a real battle for the lads. Interesting to see how it all goes.
Yeah, a bit smaller field than what we're used to, but I guess that week 13, everybody feels like they're still on holidays and, probably look to get back to a full field next week. But saying that, we've got some big names and a great track, and, it's going to be some pretty tight racing, I reckon.
It will be. James Scott, I think, is going to have his hands full with these 2 boys from the Rotchi shop. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. Terms of how James handles these guys. I don't think it's going to be James Scott's usual sit out in front and control. I've got a feeling these boys will push him very hard. And I'm going to be intrigued to see how Jordan Ross goes, whether he just tucks in behind. Hobson's up the grid a little bit. Tom Freeman sitting in 6th. He'd be pretty happy with that. But it's your Johnson's War Boys. They're the ones I reckon keep an eye out. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see some fireworks up the front, Mark.
Yeah, start's going to be critical here for James. He's got a very experienced campaigner in real life next to him. I'm sure most of our viewers have heard of him. Just got to launch well here because that run up the hill closes in very quickly on you. We're about to go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And it's lights out and away we go.
And we are off. Great start from James Scotty. It looks like he's got control. Got very good launch off the line. It looks like it's going to be Ryan Wood, though, sneaking up the inside of Van Gisbergen into turn 1. Someone out wide there. Not sure who that was. Looks like it might be Warboys. But it is James Scott with a great jump. Ryan Wood now with all the pressure behind him with Van Gisbergen, Ross, Hobson, Johnstone all tucked in. So Van Gisbergen's lost that 1 spot. But it's all about James Scott at the moment. James getting a great drive through this first lap. Coming up now through turn 6, over the rise, already pulled out half a second. He'd be pretty happy with this one. Coming down into 7, sweeping it up the hill for the first time. Now we start to see they're all in line here. We'll see what the draft can do to these boys.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're pretty sure we'll see that half second disappear pretty quick up the back straight here.
Let's just keep an eye as Wood just hanging on that little bit. And interestingly, Thomas Freeman's in the pits, so I'm not sure what's happened there, whether we've missed something. He jumped to the pits as the green flag went, so not sure what happened there to Thomas. But James Scott is flying. He has pulled away already. That's 0.8 of a second here. If he can get another half a second, he'll be out of the rid of this draft that these cars get. I'll be looking forward to seeing what he can do. Of course, 50 laps tonight, bouncing off the curbs. Whole field tucked in together.
I'm sure these boys won't want to give James too much more leeway, otherwise he'll just disappear.
Yeah, I've got to be very careful. That gap's already out to over a second. Of course, Wood would be feeling the pressure of Van Gisbergen behind, which is half of the battle of this place. And then Jordan Ross, he's still within reach of these boys in front of him, so Jordan, we've seen this season, build a very good championship.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Jordan just pace himself nice and evenly tonight. He's got a good position in the championship. He doesn't want to give away anything to James Scott, who still has a upcoming holiday, I believe. So Jordan just needs to capitalise on his good qualifying. Oh, Shane runs wide there at turn 1.
That's a mistake. Not something we expect to see from Van Gisbergen. Just looking back a little bit further, looks like Hobson's got a bit of paint missing on the side of the car as well. That left-hand side looking very second-hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but Shane Van Gisbergen's lost his rear wing, so possibly Brenton and Shane have come together, as Shane possibly rejoined. I'm not sure.
Nothing's popped up in my system. We might just try and have a look here, see if this replay gets what we're looking for. Supercheap Auto replay. See, Shane's gone wide. Yeah, Brenton's clipped him. Good pickup, Mark. Damage to both of those cars. Of course, they get one fast repair when they come in and do their pit stop. But that Rochi Dock Shop car, very damaged without a rear wing. And there we can sort of see Hobson now starting to fall back to War Boys. We sort of have a quick look at those super cheap boys. Craig Schultz, he's hanging on to the back of War Boys, so that's a great drive from him.
Yeah, clearly Craig's got a nice setup in his car tonight, and he's driving really well, which he's done all season. So, yeah, good to see him out there having some fun, mixing it up with the main series boys.
Yeah, doing it really well. I think the 9.5 lads would be pretty happy with Craig's improvement and performance this season.
Without a doubt.
Let's might jump back onto that Hobson entry, have a bit of a look at Brenton. Of course, two-time champion of this series. Oh, Hobbo here, tucked right up behind Damien Johnstone. So this battle really looks like it's going to go the distance, I think. And of course, Hobson would be watching. War Boys tucked up behind. Dave Baldock asking where Josh Drage is. And there we go, racing incident that Van Gisbergen, Hobson and Wood involved in that as well. Dave, I don't know where the Pride of South Australia is, mate. I think he's still celebrating his drive at Sandown and Scops on Sunday. These boys starting to settle in here. This is a good little battle pack. Might go a little bit further back. We haven't had a look further back. Thomas Freeman, who said started from pit lane. So not sure why Thomas ended up back there. If any of the fishy boys are watching, they might want to let us know. But he's battling away with Sean Rigby at the moment, so he's working his way back through the field.
I wonder if he had a quali setup loaded in and didn't change it and had to jump out to load a race set just as the lights were about to go.
Did well to catch it anyway. Would have been worse, I think, if he stayed with the quali setup. Wouldn't be the first person that's done that. But good little battle here. He's got in amongst all the Super 2 boys. Van Ree behind, Rigby in front, and Borella Sheedy. So he'd be looking to try and get his way through these guys as quick as possible. Having a look. Shows the nose.
Yeah, very tough down that back straight when the car in front of you is picking up a draft as well. So.
Yeah, and of course that gap in front of from Sheedy forward now it's already at 3.7 seconds. So he can't really dilly-dally back in that spot. I'll keep an eye on that one. Might jump back up, have a look at Damien Johnstone. Very comfortable in front of Hobson. And Johnstone now hanging on to the back of Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen's now lost 2.5 seconds to Ross. So all the boys now in the top 4 are now racing outside of the draft as well. So they'll be burning more fuel. So make it very interesting when it comes to their fuel strategy now. Don't forget, we've only got 2 sets of tyres, 2 compulsory stops.
Yeah, so they got a double stint on one of the sets of tyres, and I think we'll see what we've seen all season with that strategy is that they'll run the first stint long and leave the second stint for a fresh pair of boots for the run home.
Yeah, we haven't seen the usual fishy go in early, but as we were saying before, you want to stay in that draft as long as you can. You don't really want to give that up. So that
Freeman's now passed Ash Borella, Sean Rigby and Wade Sheedy, so he's made up 3 places in the last lap and a half, which is great going from Thomas.
And now he's got 5 seconds on now to get up the road to Visma. That's his next battle. A long way to go still. Only lap 7 of 50. Definitely showing good speed, Thomas. His last lap was a 1:25. Put up in traffic, but his best time's been a 1:19.8. So he's been running some reasonable pace.
Van Gisbergen in the pits already. Probably feeling like he's losing too much time with that damage, so he has to get that fixed and get back out there.
Yeah, just told lagging a little bit on YouTube. Not really having too many dramas at my end. It's showing it going well to restream, so I'm not sure what's going on there, Pete. I'll have a look at that one.
Hobson and Van Gisbergen have just done their first of their 2 compulsory stops.
Yeah, not surprised with Hobson getting rid of that. He probably used his fast repair as well, which I'd say he has. Yep, the front of that car's looking good. Van Gisbergen the same thing. They definitely getting themselves where they need to be and getting those car repairs done. Warboy's still tucked up behind Johnstone. He's having a look down in the 10A. and gets the job done. Coming down the hill, that's a good overtake. The car starting to settle a little bit for Warboys as he runs wide. Of course, we've now officially in season 4 of 2023 for iRacing, and everyone's telling me the grass is a bit different. We now have what's called dry grass, and I think they're preparing it for when rain comes to have wet grass. So interesting to see how the dynamics play out. Things changing again. Anthony Visma, one of our Super 2 boys. It's putting a bit of pressure on Brad Dobell in front.
So yeah, we've got Shane Van Gisbergen and Brenton Hobson at the rear of the field now. Both have taken their first compulsory stop, and interesting that Shane was stationary for 6 seconds longer than Brenton Hobson. So Shane taking on a bit more fuel.
So Freeman was stationary for 7 seconds. Don't like that camera angle. As we're now seeing Visma into the pits. So I feel these boys hitting already. James Scott, he's still doing relatively well, setting reasonable lap times. Last one was a 1:19.24, which was 1/10 faster than Wood behind him. So he's still getting himself up the road. Steve Murray saying that the sand's really bad as well. It'll bury a car. James looking very comfortable here with that 2.5 gap to Wood. He's about 1.3 up the road from Ross. So the top 3 all running and circulating roughly close together. Not much in their times.
Christian Smart's been able to get past Craig Schultz in that Super 2 battle.
It's still absolutely continuing on. Be more worried about Dave Worrell being listed in the Split 2, Split 3 battle pack than myself, Mr. Baldock. What are you doing on here, mate? You should be setting some times. Christian Smart, he's got past him, but Schultz is not going to let him go by the looks.
No, he's not going to let him go. Probably just needs to hang with Christian and follow him when he pits. That would be my tactic, and then try and undercut him on the second pit stop with fresh tyres.
Yep. While you're sitting there, save as much fuel as you can. Enjoy that draft.
Yep, absolutely.
Sure, he's got the master tactician, Sean Macpac, in his ear, giving him a hand. And might just jump back up. These boys, of course, sitting 6th and 7th. That's a great effort from these lads. The Super 2 boys. Thomas Freeman is coming. He's closing that gap down behind a bit. He's almost got himself up onto Dobell. Borella is going to have a look at the battle pack here. He's tucked up behind Rigby. This is a battle for these boys trying to get into the top 10. Big shout out. Not sure if Joshy's watching us tonight or not, but a big shout out to Joshy, mate. I hope your day's going well. And boys splitting out a bit. War Boys has got himself past John Stone and he's pulled away a little bit. Not really closing that gap down though to Jordan Ross.
Jordan's looking pretty comfortable in P3 at the moment. His qualifying time was good and his race lap pace is very good. So the front three are fairly evenly matched at the moment in terms of lap times, and they're pretty evenly spaced on the road as well.
Definitely. Yeah, Joshy is watching. Yeah, definitely battling on here very well. But that 6.5 second gap is a big gap to have. And let's just go back, check on how Van Gisbergen's going. And Hobson. Hobson's still in front of him. And using all the track there. Be careful not to get a slowdown or an incident point. That done relatively well. Blake Wallboys is into the pits. Johnston's going to keep going. I'll keep an eye on how this battles out. But definitely the Synergy Sim Racing lads off to a good start. James Scott, race leader.
Yeah, that leads out to just over 2 seconds now.
14 laps down. I'm interested to know if Warboys went for new tyres or whether he's just continued on. One of the things we still don't get to see here. And so YouTube's doing some very weird stuff. Should be on Facebook and Twitch as well, guys, if that might make a difference. Ryan Wood still sitting in second.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if anybody took new tyres this early on. I would imagine they'd be wanting to at least split the race in half with their tyre strategy. It's a lot of laps to do on one set of tyres from here on in, 36 laps to go.
Yeah, you think that we would have seen Van Gisbergen and Hobson come in to fix their damage? That would have been the focus of that pit stop. We might jump on board, do a lap on board with Brian Wood. the lap of Ryan Wood. He's working very hard. Hasn't given up trying to chase down James Scott. Noticing that Jordan Ross is starting to close that gap up a little bit. The gap's closing back in again. As Christian Smart now pits.
Yeah, very good lap from Jordan last time out. He was the quickest on track last time out, so Jordan finding some real good pace.
Yeah, 3/10 quicker than Wood and quicker than James Scott. So Jordan doing really well here towards the end of this stage. Of course, lap traffic about to become part of the equation for these boys too. So definitely still a lot to drive for. There's one
Ryan's just slipped out of the slipstream from James Scott now, so you probably enjoy a little bit of a tow from these boys who's about the lap.
They're definitely working very hard.
Of course, James was able to get past them two boys on the back straight. Now Ryan's going to catch them at probably the worst part of the track that he could come up on lap traffic. Andrew Hoffman does a good job getting out of the way.
Yep. That's Jordan Ross through as well. Jordan, of course, got a sniff here. He can see that blue car in front of him. Wood tucked up behind Blair Van Ree. He gets out of the way as well. Probably smart enough to know to let Jordan through. That gap almost down to under a second.
Yeah, they're pretty evenly matched on that last lap. Both doing 19.3s.
Of course, Jordan will be looking just to getting that a little bit closer. He'll start to get that sniff of the draft as well, which will help Jordan Ross get onto the back of the Ryan Wood. Oh, using a little bit of the grass.
Because Jordan's got plenty of experience around this track. It's a track that's been raced quite a bit over the years in the iRacing V8 series.
He's having a real crack though. See, by the way, he's attacking the curves through the S's.
So we carry on lap 19. James Scott's in the lead, followed by Ryan Wood, Jordan Ross, Craig Schultz up into 4th, Brad Doble 5th, Sean Rigby 6th, Brenton Hobson in 7th, Shane Van Gisbergen in 8th, Damien Johnson in 9th, and Blake Warboys in 10th. That's your top 10 so far. Craig Schultz hasn't pitted. The top 6 drivers are yet to pit.
Here we go. So, of course, Hobson and Van Gisbergen pitted on lap 7. And then we've seen John Stone at 14, Warboys 13, Smart at 16, and Freeman at 18. So, Van Gisbergen and Hobson a little bit out of sync from everybody else. But definitely a lot to continue on with.
Yeah, with nobody really probably taking fresh tyres on their first stop, there's probably no real loss in pitting early or late at the moment because everybody's going to be on pretty well worn tyres. That second stop's going to be the critical one.
Yeah, it'll be the old trick of zip in, zip out.
Now that James has been able to break the draft on everyone behind him, he's gone out to a 3.8 second lead at the moment, so that gap is slowly increasing with every lap.
course, this gap back to Jordan Ross. Oh, a little bit switchy there from Jordan. Has definitely closed up a fair bit. It's now was before Jordan dug up that apex over the rise. He's dropped back a little bit, but it was down to half a second, so expect him to battle a little bit here. As you said, Jordan doesn't want to let James Scott get too many points. Brenton Hobson's fighting his way back to put himself up to Sean Rigby. But Sean's going to let him through. Super 2 drivers picking their battle. Next one in front is Brad Doble for Hobson. And of course, our leading Super 2 driver is sitting just off the podium at the moment in 4th. Not yet to make a stop, so Hobson leading our first stop drivers. So be pretty happy with that at the moment. These boys still a long way back. So Ryan Wood still holding off the hard-charging Jordan Ross.
Yeah, these boys are very evenly matched at the moment. There's nothing in it in lap times or track position, so this is all going to come down to a tactical battle in the pits, I think.
Don't underestimate Jordan Ross in that department.
Super impressed with Ryan, but he's come in here for his first race with us, I think, and doing an absolutely epic job. He's done a good job in qualifying. He got a good jump off the start and doing a great job in race trim.
Yeah, looking very good. Continuing on, he's going to go back. Wade Sheedy's back out of the pits. He's battling with Ash Borella here. So a bit of an on-track battle with our Super 2 boys. 2 wide up into 7. Good driving from both of them there. Sheedy looks like he might have the speed. Rephrase that, it's Blanchard, not Borella. Still side by side. And he's through. Great driving by those 2 lads.
Yeah, good bit of driving there from the 2 boys.
Very tough track to the best of times. Thomas Freeman, he's still battling away from that issue at the start as Jordan Ross is pitted. Freeman's got himself back up into 11th. Doing really well for the Fishy drivers. James Scott continues on. Be into the pits. So about half race distance, probably about time you want to come in and do that stop. I'd probably say Jordan Ross making the right move.
Yeah, I'd probably expect Jordan to, quite possibly, he's done that first stop and might see him take that second stop fairly quickly as well to get them out of the way.
Yeah, I'm expecting that as well. James Scott comfortably controlled by about 5 seconds from Ryan Wood, and Ryan's about 22 seconds up the road from Craig Schultz from 9.5 Sim Sports.
Yeah, we've just got 4 drivers now to take their pit stop. That's James Scott, Ryan Wood, Craig Schultz and Brad Dobell. So
We've got a car stopped on the hill there. Not sure whether he's got it going again. Something up in the Blanchard. Let's go and have a quick look at the Supercheap Auto replay. Coming up into turn 2. He's on the curb. Oh, he's lost it. Managed to keep it. Oh! Someone's hit him. Who was that? Who was that who hit him? Going to go through that again.
Was that James Scott?
That's what I was just thinking. Watching the replay one more time. Yeah, it was James Scott. So poor old Blanchard.
James Scott is coasting down the back straight.
There you go,
He may have engine trouble.
Jump back on.
Looks like James is just trying to get into the pits here. I don't know if he's already blown his engine.
Oh. The way he's rolling, I'd say he has. He's on roll mode. Long pit lane. Will he make it? Might jump on the dashboard here. No, he's got enough speed. I think he'll get there, Mark.
Yeah, I think he's got no trouble getting to his pit box, but that has cost him big time.
And open the door up for Ryan Wood. Yep, he's in his box. It's dropped our race leader, championship leader, back down the order now. He's 8th. Ryan Wood tucked up behind Wayne Sheedy, dealing with some more lap traffic. Of course, you can see from the replay that poor old Blanchy was in the middle of his own drama. Ryan Wood peels in for his pit stop. That's going to make... See what Craig Schultz does. Does Craig Schultz become our race leader? That just changed the dynamics of the race a fair bit.
That's changed it enormously. I'm sure James Scott is feeling pretty frustrated at the moment. He was very comfortable out front, but it just goes to show you nothing is over till it's over.
That's right. That's Jordan Ross. Just want to hang on to that.
Still plenty of laps for James to make some positions up, but...
So, as predicted, Jordan Ross has got the jump on Ryan Wood.
James coming in straight away for his second stop.
Like you said, you want to get that out of the way early. And he just sort of lap times he does to get himself home from here. Hobson in for his second stop as well. Right, Jordan Ross in control of this race at the moment from Ryan Wood. The Ritchie Dock Shop. And then Shane Van Gisbergen, he's sitting in 3rd. He's recovered from losing that rear wing earlier on in the race. Doing very well. Our safety car driver got very excited then when the engine stopped. And Warboys and Johnstone resumed the battle. War Boys into the pits. Jordan Ross still our race leader. 12-second lead from Van Gisbergen. We still have about 22 and a half laps to go. A lot can still happen.
Ryan Woods made his second stop as well.
Yeah, Jordan, you'd have to be thinking about it, wouldn't you? Get it out of the way. Then you know where you stand against the likes of James Scott. Hey, it does pay to react. And he's in. Jordan Ross is obviously listening to us tonight, Mark. Here's Thomas Freeman. He's running in fourth at the moment. So he's managed to get his way back up the pack a bit.
Yep, that incident with Chris Blanchard and James Scott could be a championship changing incident, that one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Thank you for correcting his English, Stephen. I believe it's not that good. But Van Gisbergen is our race leader. This man knows what to do when he's got number one against his name. But still needs to stop. So the real battle is really looking back down that race order. We're really looking back at Ryan Wood. See where he can be. So Ryan Wood is the leader of our two stop drivers.
Yeah, Ryan was able to pull out a bit of time on Jordan there, but just that lap earlier just goes to show you what the undercut's worth. You know, he's been able to, it was at about under a second before their pit stops, and now it's blown out to 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, definitely got some interesting pit strategies tonight. Of course, Van Gisbergen and Hobson having to come in on lap 7 with damage. Van Gisbergen's gone 22 laps in this stint. Saw Wood and Schultz go 26 in their first stint. They probably expect Van Gisbergen in I would say another 4 laps.
Because Jordan Ross has come out in a bit of traffic here. He's just got past Craig Schultz. He's now got Andrew Hoffman in front of him. I'm sure Hoff will get out of his way pretty quickly.
Of course, Hoffy in the red rocket.
Blanchard lifts as well, lets him pass. So Jordan's got clean air now with Ryan Wood just in front of him. About 2.5 seconds up the road.
Definitely the battle is on. And always got to take the opportunity to thank our window banner sponsor, West End Motor Group. Of course, West End Motor Group consists of 2 Easy Finance, Parramatta Mazda, Parramatta Isuzu Utes, Parramatta Peugeot Professional, Parramatta City of Vale and Great Wall Motors, Blacktown Mazda and Blacktown City of Vale and Great Wall Motors. So if you are in that Sydney area and you're in the market for a motor vehicle, head out to Blacktown or Parramatta and check out the team at West End Motor Group. I'm sure they'll be ready to help you out. I jump on Christian Smart here. He's got Ryan Wood tucked up right behind him. And nicely gets past. That's about a 17, 18 second gap to Van Gisbergen. You'd say he took a longer stop in the first race. Sorry, in the first stop. And might just jump back. Thomas Freeman's made his second stop now, so he's sitting back in 10th. He's tucked up behind James Scott. So it'd be interesting to see if these two boys could work together to get through the pack. Still got a few lads in front that need to stop. Chris Smart's come in. Of course, Warboys is the next car up the road from Scott.
It's quite a bit of a gap there to Warboys too. It's about 6 seconds, so going to be tough going for James to make his way forward from here.
Yeah, definitely championship changing event. Doesn't take much, a little bit of bad luck. Roll of the dice, so to speak. But Ryan Wood definitely doing very well. He's about 3.6 seconds out from Jordan Ross at the moment. John Stone and Van Gisbergen, the two cars in front, still need to stop. Definitely a long way to go though. It's only lap 33. Still got 17 laps to go here. A few little battles on track still. As I said, Thomas Freeman tucked up behind James Scott. It's a big shout out to all the fishy fans out there. Down through the S's. Down the back straight away. Let's see. Looks like James has got some good drive. Thomas being able to hang on to that slipstream, making the most of it. Seeing Damien Johnstone peel into the pits. Great driving from Thomas Freeman. Precision pinpoint racing. Sitting in 9th, chasing down our championship leader, James Scott, in 8th. Our race leader is Mr. Shane Van Gisbergen. Still got to make one stop. He's got himself a 16-second lead over Ryan Wood, which is then a further 18 seconds to Ross. And then you're looking, Schultz has still got a pit. There's 23 seconds back to him, 24 back to Hobson. So when we start taking in consideration that the pit lane time for these guys is around 40 seconds, I think we're going to probably see him come out around 10th. So that early damage is having a bit of an effect here on Van Gisbergen. He's still got to make one more stop.
Yeah, looking at Shane's last lap time, 1 minute 20. Everybody else is well into the low 119, so I'm sure them tyres are pretty second hand at the moment, and he probably won't want to stay out too much longer, otherwise he's just going to keep bleeding time, I think.
Yeah. Just wondering whether he might have made a mistake on that first stop and took tyres. No, we'll see. It'll be revealed as we get closer to the end. Brenton Hodgson hunting down Craig Schultz in front of him. Of course, Craig, our leading Super 2 driver, he still needs to pit as well. So there's still a bit for this race to unfold. Some epic battle here. Daisy's got Ross 6 seconds up the road. Jordan Ross would be definitely happy tucked behind Ryan Wood, knowing that there's a good 5 cars between him and James Scott. This is a championship defining drive at the moment.
Christian Smart locked in a tight battle with Wade Sheedy at the moment as well. Just cannot seem to find a way past.
Wade a little bit down in the Super 2 points at the moment. Maybe looking for a good result. He's sitting in second in the Super 2, boys. As of just some reason, that's back. Tucked up in the draft. Shows the nose, tucks back in behind. Of course, Christian, one of the wily vets drivers from South Australia. Doing really well here. He might jump back up on the James Scott. He's caught up to the back of Damien Johnstone now, so they are closing these gaps a little bit. Still waiting for Van Gisbergen and Schultz, though, to make their second stops.
Yeah, like you said, John, quite possibly Shane did take tyres on that first stop and maybe never meant to, but easy one to forget to not take tyres.
Maybe interesting to see. Could be planning on trying to do a bit of a splash and dash at the end. James Scott definitely trying to fight his way back through here. Tucked right up behind his teammate Damien Johnstone. Looks like he's going to get the drive this time. Gets it done.
Damien didn't make it easy for his championship leading teammate then, but James had to really fight for that position.
They tell me there's no team orders at Synergy Sim Racing, so that probably backs that theory up there. Great driving from both of them, though. Managed to get the job done. Going to jump back on that Smart Sheedy battle. That is getting tight as well. That gap now down to less than 0.2 of a second. It was going through the main straight.
I'm sure Craig Schultz will be encouraging Wade Sheedy to keep Christian Smart behind him for a few more laps.
As Gisbergen peels off into the pit lane. And now we're about to see how this race is really going to fold out. Ryan Wood, he should get through. I reckon we'll see Gisbergen come somewhere out about 7 or 8, I think. So Wood's through. Jordan Ross is through. See where Warboys is. He's coming over the hill. Gisbergen in his box at the moment. Warboys is going to sneak past. Gisbergen on pit exit. So Gisbergen back out in 6th in front of Ross. Oh, this will make it interesting.
In front of Scott.
Scott, sorry, yeah. Thanks, Mark. This will make it very interesting. Sheedy in for his second stop as well. So Craig Schultz, the only driver on track not to have completed 2 stops yet. And about 11 laps to go. It's always a great little chicane, 10A, 10B, when you get it right. As you can see, Shane van Gisbergen in front there down the hill. It's tucked up behind War Boys. So these lads battling very hard.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what level of grip Shane's got here and whether he did save that second set of tyres for this last stint.
This race now again coming alive with 10 laps to go.
Of course, up front we've got Ryan Wood and Jordan Ross, only separated by just over a second, so still lots to play for at the very front of the race as well.
Yeah, I expect that gap to close. War Boys defends on the inside, side by side with Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen gets the job done. That puts one between him and Scott. Scott would be counting the distance between him and Jordan Ross. Of course, Jordan Ross is closing that gap down the Ryan Wood. So this battle shaping up.
Yeah, just looking like there, Shane's got superior grip to Blake, so I'm guessing Shane did save that second set of boots.
Yeah, I reckon that could be the case. James Scott, he's trying to get onto the back of War Boys now. That's the next battle to be looking for. So then we've got Jordan Ross. He's looking down the road. He can see that blue carrot in front of him. Itching ever so closer. Don't forget, once he gets that gap under a second, he'll start picking up the effects of the toe, which will help him close it down a bit more.
Yeah, that gap's under a second now, so that gap's coming down all the time.
Van Gisbergen setting an 18.736, his fastest lap of the night. Ross that time was a 19.12. Woods was a 19.47, so this is definitely being reeled in. Of course, Jordan will be looking to take it to the young fella in front. Of course, not much lap traffic around to give Wood a help out with a bit of a tow either, so this is just pure speed. What do we get this time by? 119.312, 119.1, so 2 tenths again. think Jordan Ross wants this one, Mark.
Yeah, I'm sure he does, especially with James Scott suffering some misfortune. We've got James tucked up under the rear wing of Blake Warboys now, so James looking to make at least one more position.
Of course, we've still got Schultz in the middle of this pack here that's got a pit. Of course, James and Jared Purcell won the Scotch Sandown on Sunday night. So James still has a fair bit of pace and still in form.
Yeah, pretty comfortable victory in the Sandown 5, Scotch Sandown 500 for them boys. Congratulations to him, but he's got a job to do tonight, trying to salvage something out of this race after suffering a bit of misfortune that wasn't of his own doing.
And he's going to get up the inside of Warboys. Side by side down into 10A. Pulls it up, gets the job done. Nice overtake. Jump up the front now. Ryan Wood is under pressure. With 6.5 to go. The Rochi Dock Shop entry of Ryan Wood has been caught by Jordan Ross from Synergy Sim Racing.
It didn't take long for that gap to come down to 0.
No, it didn't. So Jordan now be sitting back, having a look, trying to plan where he's going to make his move. Shout out to Greg Shelton watching in the chat as well, my favourite Dutchman.
And interesting, Craig Schultz just had his second pit stop and has been able to come out about 3 seconds in front of his rival for the Super 2 Championship, Christian Smart. So good tactical effort. Yeah, good tactical effort there from Craig with 6.5 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good battle there. Look at this. This is really getting on now. Jordan all over the back of Woods. Of course, got to be careful around this place. Not the easiest place to overtake. Ryan Wood, of course, he won't want to surrender first place.
I definitely think Jordan will fancy his chances here.
Yep, I think he's going to go early. He knows he's got the straight line pace. Let's see what Jordan Ross can do.
Big toe up the back straight here. Wondered how defensive Ryan will go.
It's taking the inside line, way on the inside. Looking for the over and under maybe. No, not this time. Of course, the timer ticking down. 46 to 50. This battle's going to go to the end, I reckon, Mark. Jordan will be thinking now and be looking for where he thinks his next opportunity will come from.
Yeah, because Ryan's got nothing to lose championship-wise, but Jordan's got everything to lose. So Jordan needs to play this one a little bit smart. He doesn't want to throw away P2. I know he wants to win, but there's a lot riding on this result.
That's right. Doesn't take much for it all to go pear-shaped, as we saw with James. A little bit of an incident with some back markers.
Of course, James has done an epic job to get back to 5th after just being able to crawl back to his pit box after looking like what was a blown engine. So he's done an incredible job to get back to P5.
That's right. He's done a sensational job to stop us from seeing the safety car. But these boys here, not much in this.
So 4 laps to go. Ryan's done an exceptional job tonight for his first race with us here on East Coast, but he's got a very experienced campaigner with Jordan Ross behind him, who is looking to secure a points jump on James Scott in the championship standings here.
Yeah, it'll definitely have a bit of impact.
But certainly James has minimised the damage. He's he could have thrown the toys out of the cot, but he's just knuckled down. He's done a great job to get all the way back to P5 when he was looking outside the top 10 there for a while.
Done very well. I think he'll be pretty proud of his efforts. Jordan Ross now in the slipstream. Saw last time Wood went very defensive. He's going defensive again. Not quite up alongside enough. Looking for the over-under.
He's just parking it up the inside every lap there, and as long as he gets a good exit out of that corner on the turn 7 there, he can defend pretty stoutly.
Now we're starting to see the games. Starting to see it there. Jordan having a bit of a look on turn 1. We saw a little bit of reaction from Wood. Of course, Ryan, a regular Super 2 driver, he is battling very hard, and he used to battling very hard with drivers around him.
Sure, you've probably got a big weekend of real racing coming up as well.
Yeah, with Sandown.
Same for Shane. I did see the 888. Oh, Jordan, big mistake.
No! It's back on the road. How much damage has he done to the car?
It's a pretty heavy side impact there, John.
Oh. We might see if we can get a replay of that. Supercheap Auto replay. I think this will add to his incident point, Stephen Murray. Just clips that grass. And yeah, that is not great. Now it comes back down the damage limitation. 6 seconds back to Hobson.
Yeah, he's lucky he hit it fairly side on too, so yeah, it wasn't too bad. Lucky we don't have that new damage model yet.
Yeah, so we'll just go back. Christian Smart is alongside Craig Schultz, or Craig Schultz is getting past Christian Smart. The Super 2 boys having a good ding-dong battle again too.
Yeah, Christian's been able to close that 3-second gap down in a couple of laps there, so Christian's obviously got pretty good pace here. Only a lap and a half to go for Craig to hang on, so that's going to be a very interesting one till the end there.
Tom Freer, J. Ross man, the track goes right, fella. I think it's the other right that he went, Tom. As we're on the last lap, we might just jump a quick look at Thomas Freeman. He's got a bit of pressure from Damien Johnstone behind him, but Ryan Wood is the man. On debut, Supercheap Auto East Coast Series. He has to have an exceptional drive. And you can see Jordan Ross has picked up behind him. He hasn't dropped too far off after all that.
No, Jordan's drove exceptionally well tonight. But Ryan Wood has drove an extraordinary race. He defended very hard on them last 5 or 6 laps, but didn't do anything illegal, and yeah, drove very, very smart.
Yeah, a very good drive from Ryan Wood. One of the up-and-coming young future stars of the V8 supercars. And tonight, he's a Supercheap Auto East Coast winner. Congratulations, Ryan Wood.
Yeah, another bloody Kiwi.
Jordan Ross home in second. Great drive from JR. Brenton Hobson. He's going to get on the podium in P3. Shane Van Gisbergen fourth. And followed by James Scott, going to bring it home in fifth. That's a good recovery. Warboys in sixth. Be happy with that one. Thomas Freeman brings it home in seventh. Damien Johnstone in eighth. And Chris Smart is going to get home in front of Craig Schultz. Maybe, maybe not. Or
Christian just jumped him on the last lap. They're up the back straight. So good, great racing from these two boys.
Battles everywhere tonight. Some great stuff to see. And Craig Schultz rounds out our top 10. Anthony Visma is 11th. And of course, we've got Brad Dobell, Wayne Sheedy, Borella, Blanchard, Blair Van Ree, Sean Rigby and Andrew Hoffman all getting it home as well. And
yeah, interesting race. Interesting race. Yeah, good comeback from Shane Van Gisbergen too after suffering damage early on and happened to take a very early pit stop. So that was a good comeback from Shane. And James Scott, we spoke about James as well. Great comeback from him to get back to P5.
Yeah, he'd be very happy. That's going to go back on Supercheap Auto replay. Something happened to Sean Rigby. Looks like there might be Blanchard involved in this one. Rigby's just got a little hot by himself. That probably the last of the stuff that happened on that last lap, but it was a great drive from Ryan Wood. Rochi's Dock Shop, they call their team. Yeah, I think you'd be pretty chuffed with the results of that one. Tough gig, Mark. Track all
yeah, that was a pretty exciting race with some people suffering misfortune. A debutant race winner and Jordan Ross throwing everything at Ryan Wood in them last 5 laps.
Yeah, Ryan drove really well. Congratulations on your win, Ryan.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me tonight.
That's all right, mate. How did you find that one?
Yeah, it was good. Bit of fun. James got a bit unlucky there with the lap car, but yeah, no, happy with that. And yeah, it was a cool race.
And a good little battle with Jordan Ross there at the end.
Yeah, he had a bit more speed than me, and I made a couple of mistakes. But yeah, no, it was cool. Good to do a long race, and yeah, starting to get used to this V8 thing now again. So yeah, it's been good.
Good to hear, mate. Good to hear. And of course, the man in second was Mr. Jordan Ross himself.
Can't believe I just did that.
Thomas Freer just wrote in that the track goes right. Just to
I
remind
can't believe I just did that. What an idiot.
Oh
well.
That looked good on the replay.
Need to retire. Too old.
Come on, not in bets yet.
Oh, God.
How'd you find that anyway, Jordan?
Oh, it was good. Car was good. James was just up the road, so
Yeah.
need to find out why he's so much faster. But yeah, it was all right.
Yeah. So did you think you had his measure before you found the wall?
Yeah, I didn't want to be the outside down the bottom. I wanted to get the inside, and I was half asleep. And that's what happens. You put it in the wall like a clown.
You get that one. And of course, we've got in third place the one and only Brenton Hobson. How are you, mate?
I'm good, John. How you going?
Good. Been a while since we had a chat to you.
Yeah, that's quite true, actually. I'm old and washed up these days, John. That's the problem, you see.
Oh, these boys all keep telling me you're old and washed up, but I don't see you in vets.
True enough.
What?
I say it all the time. If you're as old as you feel, I'm a rally.
Mind you, the old fish is wound up in vets this season. We've got Blake Delaney for his first outing.
Yeah, that vets is not a place to play these days. It's full business over there.
Yeah, 144 drivers in that league. Anyway, we'll keep cracking along here. We've lost the other two real quick. Jeez, he's dumped you in a hurry.
Yeah, see, he didn't want to have to do the shout out, you see. That's why he's out of here.
I'll let you do the shout out. So you brought it up.
Damn. No. Thanks to everyone in the team at SSR. A few of us here tonight. I don't know what happened to James, actually. I shouldn't even be here, but something obviously happened to him. So, but shout out to all the guys that come and have a steer tonight. It's good fun. Sponsors, Watercraft Performance Centre, Parramatta, Isuzu Ute, Works Racing Components, Dr. Epoxy, and all the others that help make the wheels turn around for us at the team. Obviously, shout out to the league, all the sponsors attached to that, and your good fine selves putting on a broadcast for everybody.
That's all right, mate. And done very well with it all. Next week, we have, instead of Bathurst this weekend, we've pushed that back to a 300k race at Bathurst on Tuesday night.
Yeah, so I'll actually be able to race it now, which is good. I wasn't going to do the weekend jobby, so works out well for me. I'd rather it be on the Tuesday so I can at least get some practice laps. I sort of never expect to be that good, but it does give me a chance to put some laps in. So obviously a few big races around this time of year at Bathurst, so it's always good to get a few practice laps, try and get your iron around there. Everyone's fast at that track, so it's not easy to be competitive there.
It is a tough place, and I think it'll be a very tough place in the East Coast field as well. I reckon we'll have a big field again next week, so it'll be a battle and a half, I think. You'll be happy.
Yeah, sorry, John, I was about to say, I'm sure we'll have a pretty full grid next week, so which will be good. It's always nice to get a full grid around Bathurst.
Yeah, to be looking forward to it. And Shane Van Gisbergen's apologised for his turn one error as well in the chat, Brenton, so you'll be happy to know that.
Oh, to me, that's all good. That was my fault anyway. I ran into him like an idiot. It was kind of funny. I saw him go wide and my eyes lit up like dinner plates. I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to pass him. And I sort of didn't really account for the fact that you can't just turn more right when you want to. And he ended up further across than I was expecting and just drove into the back of him like an idiot. So I put as much of the blame on that contact itself on me as much as on him. So
that's fair enough.
Appreciate him apologising for it, but probably not necessary. That's all good.
That's fair enough too. On that note, a big thank you to everybody, all of our drivers. They've put on a relatively good show again, as they always do from week to week. Big thank you to everybody out in the chat. I think we had some good numbers in there. A little bit of restream issues, I think, doing a bit of glitching with YouTube, what I can gather. And, of course, a big thank you to you, Mark, for jumping in and helping me keep these boys in line. And, and of course, big thank you to league admin and race control.
Yeah, cheers, John. Good to be here. It was a great night of racing once again in the East Coast Series, and look forward to Bathurst next Tuesday night, which I think will be a pretty hot contested race. Yeah,
looking forward to that one. It will be very, very interesting. And, of course, good luck to the boys that are driving this weekend too at Sandown. And, of course, on that note, we'll wrap up the broadcast and we'll see everybody again at the same time next week for a 300k race at Bathurst. Night all.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle